Okay, so SummerSlam was 4 hours and had a lot of stuff. That's why I had to break out a dry erase board for what I was going to do here. We begin with Jon Stewart in the ring. He talks about. He actually does a really good promo. Then he's like, I'm going to talk to Brock Lesnar. I'm going to call it a buddy of mine. Calls out Foley. Foley does a cheap pop. As in, like, you said Brock. Yeah. Thought you were going to interview The Rock. And they do a bit of a comedy shtick, which was okay, but it felt like really weird filler to begin your show. And then we go with Sheamus Orton. Why these two guys are still feuding with no stipulations involved, I mean, I don't know why. Sheamus said he was going to bro kick the daylights out of Orton. And he hits him with 2 bro kicks in a row. Good match. These two guys put on good matches because we see them a lot of times on Raw. Didn't feel like it was quite pay-per-view worthy, but still a good match. Nice opener. The New Day come out in matching White Ranger gear. And then seeing a version of New York, but throwing in words related to New Day. Lucha Dragons come down, the crowd kind of pumped. Los Matadores comes down, and the crowd kind of meh. Would have been a great time to debut Enzo and Big Cass and just have him lose. And the PTP comes out to a decent ovation. This match was a dozen kinds of chaotic. And of course, what they did is they didn't throw in the Freebird rule, or the New Age Outlaws rule, or the Voodoo Kin Mafia rule, or the... who else did that? Or the Outsiders rule. When you're doing these multiple matches, you can tag in your tag team partner. You cannot pin your partner to win the titles. They didn't specify that early on, so the New Day tries to actually pin themselves to win the championship. Because you're the first team to score a pinfall. So you could be the loser and the winner and still become champ. The end of this match just saw everyone hitting so many moves. Titus beats the daylight out of everybody. He looked like John Cena versus Nexus. Just hitting everything that moves with power moves. I'm beginning to absolutely love the side backbreaker with like the just toss you to the side like you a sack of potatoes. Love that move. Makes me he looks like $1 million. $1 million with like gold stamped on it. But Kofi did a out of nowhere tag. Big Titus. It's Clash the Titus. It's taken out of the ring. Kofi goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. And then they dance. You will find gifs of this everywhere. This will be all over Cage Side Seats. This is going to be the one that's going to probably surpass Kofi skipping down to the ring. Big E straps come down. He's doing something. I guess he's challenging her Shawn Michaels. But so White Ranger team New Day, new tag champs. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. A highly entertaining match. Ziggles and Rusev. Lana comes down like an 80s video vixen. I don't see why she couldn't be a face and still rock pantsuits. Just saying. Seeing her in like a denim skirt with like a denim jacket just seemed really obtuse. These two guys have a decent match. You know, there's a lot better storytelling going on than anything else. But they've had better matches on Raw. This one had a lot of build up to it. Rusev has got Ziggler and the Accolade. Lana and Summer get into it, or Lana versus Lana 2. Rusev quits the Accolade, goes out, is like, what are you guys doing? Tries to break him up. Then he's attacking Ziggler outside the ring. Double count out. So I guess these two guys will be on opposite sides of a Survivor Series match. And then the Arrows took on the Cosmic Kingdom. One's the Prince of Dark Matter, one's the Cosmic Kings of Cosmic Kingdom. And you know, Stephen Amell did a really good job, or Amell. Little side note, when I was at WizCon in Chicago, in the Undertaker line, Stephen Amell actually came to the line because there was someone who was in Taker's line who actually missed his photo op with Stephen Amell. he found out. He knew where the guy was, and he went to Taker's line to do the photo op with the guy there. It's definitely a class act. He did a pretty good job. He took a tremendous beating. A tremendous beating. Did a little bit of high flying, not a lot, but did enough. Of course, Neville hits the red arrow because celebs tend to not lose in their matches. But a very good match. Very good match. Triple threat. So here's your first kind of cool down match. It was booked actually pretty well. Miz stayed on the outside of the ring, and after either Ryback or Big Show laid the other one out, the other one was too tired to go for the pin, Miz would try to sneak in, try to get a pin. Good job. That's how you work Miz in this sort of match. He knows he does not belong in the ring with those two guys. Let those two guys wail on each other, hit big moves, hit some big power finishes, try to go and get the pin. It made the match entertaining enough, because instead of being normal triple threat where it's one guy gets beat and rolls outside the ring, the other two guys fight, and you switch back and forth, Miz just stay on the outside of the ring, fresh as a daisy. Till he ate the finish. Knockout punch by Big Show. Ryback knocks down Big Show. Ryback pins Miz. You know, a much more serviceable match than I thought it was going to be. Then in the back, Stewart is trying to find Brock Lesnar. Has a run-in with Heyman. Pretty good. Pretty good stuff. You know, you can tell it when you have somebody who does a lot of entertainment. He worked very well with Heyman, who does a lot of entertainment stuff. So, good stuff. Actually worked really well. Ambrose and Reigns versus the Wyatts. This took me back to when the Shield fought the Wyatts. And it was just two groups of young lions beating the holy heck out of each other. These four guys put on a match that had almost as many moves and as much chaos as the Fatal 4-Way Tag match. And there was just 4 people involved. You know, good job when it came to just big moves. You know, having Ambrose in one spot and having Reigns jumping over, using the steel steps to do a diving attack onto Harper. You know, Reigns has come a long way. Had this had been Reigns' feud last year and he not have gotten injured, you know, the Reigns of now is the one where if he were to win the Royal Rumble, people would cheer him. He still gets a mixed reaction because it's New York and it's more of a smart crowd. But as the match kept on going, he got more cheers. So he gets booed right off the bat. But people warm up to him pretty quickly. But nice match. Finish was Dirty Deeds followed by a spear. And that's actually one of the very few times the Shield actually got one over on the Wyatts. They actually feuded, I want to say, one pay-per-view, and the Wyatts got the victory. And normally when they fought, the Wyatts normally eked out a win. And when it was Ambrose and Wyatt got a lot of the victories. Same thing with their one-on-one matches. Same thing with this feud now. The Wyatts seem to do a very good job defeating members of the Shield. But this match, really great. And the fact that Ambrose, when he was on commentary, was like, this is a battle. This is not to finish the war. This is going to keep on going. And it works. Because you can use this into like a Night of Champions bit. You can keep this going, throw a couple more guys into it, and you can run that into Survivor Series. You can make it work. Those two groups work well enough that you can have them fight somebody else for a couple of weeks, and then have them go back at it. Those 4 guys do a really solid job with each other. Now, in an odd spot, Rollins and Cena, title for title. Very unique spot. Rollins comes down in gleaming white, again channeling the White Ranger, so this was the Jason David Frank portion of the night again. Puts on a good match with Cena. Ironically, they let Rollins wrestle the style that got Rollins his job when he was Tyler Black, knowing that he was going to be overphased due to all of his Ring of Honor time. Lots of high-flying moves. Just good job. You know, I will say, the sequence he did that was a superplex into a Falcon Arrow, I was like, that would have been an awesome finish. But Instead, we see Cena take a lot of moves, then be able to roll through and go for an AA. They do a ref bump. This is one of those things where if I were to ever get to book a company, the gimmick I would use would be one of two. One, I would have smart refs. If you hear the sound of metal behind your back and someone is laid out, you could probably assume that a foreign object was used. You might actually look around the ring and see if there's a bent chair or metal object. Use that, potentially DQ from something that you didn't physically see, but you know that it happened from all the other things going on around you. You could even have it happen and then interact with the crowd to do it that way. And for championship matches, I would probably go with 2 refs. Championship main event match, I would go with 2 refs. Then if you happen to do one of these ref bump sort of spots, you could have ref number 2 check on ref number 1, see the guy going for the pin, get that first ref out of the ring, bring in ref number 2. That way then when you do these sort of spots, it's not awkwardly long where it's like, the ref is unconscious. And they're like, what are we going to do? It's not like there's not a dozen refs in the back. John notices the ref is unconscious. After Rollins did, if you listen to the commentary, they're like, oh, Rollins must have known the referee's been hurt. He just took a finisher. You think he's that way? Like, wait a minute. I don't hear a loud pounding sound. The referee must be injured. Yep. Then Stewart comes down. And Stewart makes a mistake. He actually, when he gets in the ring, he looks over at Rollins, but then he goes closer to Cena because he hit Cena with the chair. Cena's still checking on the ref. So now John has to stutter step back and forth to Rollins, and then back to Cena, then back to Rollins. By this time you kind of know, he then hits Cena with the chair. Goes to throw the chair away, and then decides, wait a minute, throws the chair back in the center of the ring. So that way Rollins can get a pedigree. Now referee comes down. I'm assuming if referee's coming down to the ring, then that he would have had to have been watching the match. If in the process of watching the match, he saw a third person get in the ring, hit one of them with a chair, and then saw a finisher onto a chair, and then went down to the ring, it makes it for kind of one of those awkward sort of, heel cheating for the win. 1, 2, 3, your dual champion is Rollins. Cool. This was probably one of the few times Rollins looked strong-ish in a match. Where he wasn't facing, in most of the matches he's been on the losing side, then hits a finisher and wins. This one actually looked pretty good. They let him wrestle much more of his hybrid style, and it worked well. And kudos to John for buzzing out a figure 4 leg lock, knowing he was going to eat it from the crowd. But, solid match. We then go into our 3-on-3-on-3 Divas Elimination Tag match. One fall eliminates your team. I kind of figured that we're going to see the disposed members of teams eat finishers. To me, that gets pinned for Team Bad. Okay. That's the one who would get eliminated. Team Bella just works on Paige the whole time. Alright, not bad. A little bit to Charlotte. Charlotte gets in some hits. Tag into Becky. Becky gets the finish after Brie misses the Brie mode missile dropkick and gets a pinfall victory. Okay. The problem I have with where it was orientated in the show is Cole and JBL hype up every single thing John Cena does. And it's like, John Cena, big match John. How do you kick out of that? Who kicks out of that from John Cena? It's like, I get it. He is the face of the company. You don't have to push it so hard to the point it's like, I almost want to mute it. Maybe I should try on Spanish commentary. We'll be like, Cena es bueno, Cena es bueno. Es muy bueno, John Cena. Cena bueno. And then you follow up with a match with the Bellas. And again, Cole hard sells the Bellas. It's like, but aren't they the heel? Aren't they a heel group? Aren't they the bad guys? Why you hard? Oh, because the Bellas wanted a competition. Nikki hasn't defended her title since the NXT women got the call up. She defended on July 4th. If she defends it at Night of Champions, she will surpass AJ Lee's reign without having to defend the title for like 2 months. That's why numerically it'll work, but from a storyline standpoint, from a memorable standpoint, it's a horrible title reign. Then we go into Owens and Cesaro. They got the cooldown spot? Okay, that's weird. See Owens and Cesaro in the cooldown spot? Okay. Good, hard-hitting match. Worked well. You knew that Owens had to get the victory since he lost to Finn Balor the night before. Cesaro looked like a beast. Owens looked like a beast. Owens, pop-up powerbomb, gets the victory. Nice, hard fought. Now I picture that feud probably continued a little bit longer. Maybe those that are on opposite sides for a Survivor Series match. Maybe we have like a team that could be like Sheamus, Cesaro. Well, you might have like Sheamus, Rusev, Owens against maybe Ziggler, Orton, Cesaro. If you wanted to, you could throw in the Reigns, Ambrose, Wyatt bit, and there's a pretty good Survivor Series match. Just saying. Then we get into the real, true main event. Taker and Lesnar. Lesnar was right after Taker before the bell even rings. This was not a match. This was a good old-fashioned bout to knock the other guy out. This is all punch, kick, big move. This was like Attitude Era wrestling. Then we got to the Kimuras and the Hell's Gates. Alright. Taker fights out, Lesnar fights out. Alright, here we go. Another Kimura. Alright. It looks like Taker taps. The bell rings. Little Nate is like, I didn't call for the bell. At which point the crowd's like, yeah, huh? Wait, what? Lesnar's like, yeah, I did it. Woo! Right, Little Nate's just like, I didn't call for the bell. Woo! Taker turns around, kick to the junk. Hell's Gate. Lesnar lets Taker know that he's number one. Passes out, Taker wins. This is one of those clunky pseudo Attitude Era finishes that worked back then, because in order to fully understand what was going to happen, you had to watch the next day. It was one of those nice, what's going to happen now on Raw sort of moments. And it probably would have worked a little bit better. It just came off kind of clunky at the very end. You know, you could have had Heyman be yelling at the ref, he's tapping. Had the ref go to look at it. You know, or the ref, like, you know, get in Heyman's face and do something, so that way then Lesnar still would have thought that, you know, then he still had the bell ring, but it just felt like they tried to do this weird sequence that didn't quite gel quite well. You know, and that match was going great. Everything you wanted to see in those two guys, just beating the daylights out of each other. In fact, a lot of these matches were guys that had what felt like blood feuds beating each other up, which is what makes professional wrestling good. Two guys don't like each other, whoop the daylights out of each other. Just the ending just felt like it was booked well, but executed not as well as it should have been for that. This was the finish to your big main event. Your match that was too big for WrestleMania.